Hey folks, Jason, Painfully Honest Tech, back here again, scratching my shoulder, stretching things out. I want to talk to you today about this guy, that guy. 2017, 27-inch iMac. It's got an i5 processor. It's got a 1 terabyte Fusion drive. It's got 8 gigs of RAM to this moment, but that will change soon. And it's been a little bit of a changeover for me. I have been a Mac guy for most of my life, but if you've watched my channel for a while, you know that I've done some PC builds, that I do some PC gaming, that all that stuff is part of me as well. But back in the day, way back in ancient times when I was but a pup, my very first computer that I had available to me in my home was a Performa SE Mac. It was one of those ones with a little tiny screen, and it was like a beige box. Over the years, I started doing audio recording, and so audio recording, to me, at least in the time that I was coming up, there wasn't really a lot that you could do on PC that matched the quality of Apple products. Apple was a creative professional's computer. Now that maybe has been changing over the past decade or so as Apple has become more of a mobile device manufacturer. The iPhone greatly outpaces the mobile and the laptop and desktop market for Apple. I understand that. So they're focused more on those kinds of things. But the core of Apple's resurgence after Steve Jobs came back to the company was both the iMac and other professional machines, and that was their core constituency. When the 2015 iMacs came out, I went out and grabbed a 4K 21.5 inch at Best Buy. It had a 5400 RPM hard drive in it. I honestly can't believe that a company like Apple would put a laptop hard drive in a desktop machine and then try and sell it to people. But that aside, and no user upgradable memory, or you can't swap out the hard drive, any of that kind of stuff. All that aside, it was a frustrating experience. I ended up taking it back and building a PC that allowed me to really grow this YouTube channel. When the 2017 iMacs were announced, I was actually, for the first time in a long time, really impressed with what Apple had done. They really made it so that a professional could use these machines and not spend a ton of money. Now, that's always been a big issue with Apple products. You have to pay the Apple tax. But this model here, i5 chip, 8 gigs of RAM, Fusion drive, upgradability in the RAM department, 5K screen, $17.99. Which, honestly, if you try and build yourself a PC with similar specs with a 5K screen, you can't do it for less than $4,000. I've been using this now for a couple of weeks, and I've been really, really excited about the experience that I've been having. It is a little bit slower at times because of the Fusion drive, but I have been using it quite a bit. And honestly, to the point where I had my i7 6700K PC down here as well, and that never got used. So what I decided to do was throw Windows in a partition on this guy so that I can play games whenever I want to play games, and we'll see. But one thing that I had forgotten in my switch from Mac to PC, and this is specifically something that's a big deal to me, both as a writer and having to look at text all the time, and as a person who does graphics of different kinds, video and visual graphics and that kind of thing. One thing that I had forgotten was how much better Apple screens are when compared to any monitor out there. I tried to go back and forth between a UHD monitor that I had and this, as well as a 1080p 75 Hertz monitor that I was using. And honestly, it was so difficult for me to continue to read the text that I just couldn't do it. I had to come back to this machine. I've been disappointed in Apple over the years. I've been disappointed watching them become more of a lifestyle brand, more of a mobile brand, more of a whatever you want to call them brand. I do feel like they have lost some of their mojo in the absence of Steve Jobs. But when they get things right, when they deliver a product that can really serve the needs of a bunch of different constituencies. I'm doing 4K video editing on this thing. I wanted to go back to Final Cut Pro because I have a Premiere license, but I just really don't like Premiere. I wanted to go back to Final Cut. This gave me the opportunity to go back to Final Cut. I'm rendering 4K video on this i5 chip with the Radeon graphics that are on board. I think it's the Pro 560 that's in this machine. I'm rendering 4K graphics faster than I ever could on an i7 machine with 16 gigs of RAM and a GTX 1080. I don't know what the mojo is. I know that Final Cut is better optimized for Apple because it's their product than Premiere is, and I know that Premiere has not been optimized very well for a long time. But for me, as somebody who creates music, every time I tried to do something, it was a hardware issue, it was a software issue, something wasn't working, and I was fiddling around with it. Whereas I plug stuff into this, and it works. And I can start doing the work that I want to do without having to worry about hardware inconsistencies or anything like that. I'm getting back into making music again in a way that I haven't done for quite a while. I'm going to try and finish a record. This machine is going to allow me to do that. It's not really about the specs. I'm not really noticing, that this machine is slower or more boggy or anything else than my PC. What I am noticing is the screen is so much better to the point where I can't look at other screens now. And the performance is also so reliable. I never find myself troubleshooting the way that I had on PC. Now, I love PCs. PCs are so much fun, and they can be incredibly powerful. But there's something about Mac OS and using an iMac or any other machine that is just so seamless that maybe it's because Apple keeps such stringent quality control boundaries around their software and their hardware, and everything is built together to work together. Maybe that's it. But I get more work done on this machine than I do on any PC that I've ever used, and that is saying something. So for the time being, right now, this iMac 27-inch 5K Core i5 7600K? 7500? 7500, I don't know. I'll throw the specs up on there. Right now, this machine has brought me back to productivity in a way that I haven't had in a long time. I'm making more music, I'm working on the videos, I am just enjoying myself, and it's been a long time since I enjoyed myself just using a computer. Because these new machines are the first ones that Apple has put out in quite a while that weren't completely hamstrung by their specs. You can do graphics, you can play games with these Radeon chips that are in there now, 8 gigs of DDR5 memory, so this is a powerful machine at a really decent price, especially when you throw in the fact that it has that 5K 27-inch screen. You're just not going to find a better value. And I never thought I'd say that about Apple. You're just never going to find a better value than the current crop of 2017 iMacs. So if you're looking for a new machine, if you are someone of the Mac persuasion and have been waiting for a new Mac, I say get this. The new Mac Pro is where you're going to pay the Apple tax. The new Mac Pro is not going to have upgradable RAM. The new Mac Pro is going to cost $5,000 in its base model. It's going to look sexy, but this machine and the ones that are above it, the i7s and et cetera, these are beastly machines and very much worth checking out. So let me know what you think down in the comments. Mac, no Mac, be civil. And thanks again for being here. I just wanted to talk to you about this new computer because I'm just so excited about what it's been able to do for me. And until the next time, this is Jason, sometimes known as the JTL, Painfully Honest Tech, and I'm out.